He looked away for 1 second and his best friend wasn't human anymore. True horror story. What if the person you trust most isn't wearing their real face? What if every time you blink, they become someone else? This is the true horror story of a man who realized his best friend wasn't who he thought he was. A smile too wide, eyes too empty, a voice that kept learning how to sound human. Stay with me, because once he discovers the truth, you'll never feel safe around anyone again. Elliot Graves always trusted one thing in his life: his best friend, Jamie Carter. They'd known each other since the first day of kindergarten, scruffy sneakers, missing teeth, and a friendship that built itself over scraped knees and shared fears. 20 years later, they were inseparable. Elliot always joked that if souls came in pairs, he and Jamie were a matching set. But after one night, Elliot's soul felt like it didn't recognize Jamie's anymore. It started on a Saturday evening, the kind where boredom settles into your chest like fog. Elliot was sprawled on the couch, scrolling through movies they'd already watched together a dozen times. Jamie sat beside him, chewing a slice of cold pizza, staring at the blank TV screen like he was waiting for something to happen. "You good?" Elliot asked. Jamie blinked and turned toward him, slowly. His face was blank, but his eyes were too wide, too still, like photos printed on glossy paper. Then Jamie smiled. Not a normal smile. His lips stretched too far, just a little, but enough that Elliot's stomach tightened. His teeth looked wrong, crooked in a way they weren't before. Sharper maybe, or maybe the shadows from the lamp were playing tricks again. "What?" Jamie asked, frozen grin still in place. Elliot blinked, and suddenly, the smile was normal again. Casual, the face he knew better than his own. "Nothing," Elliot muttered. "Just zoned out." Jamie shrugged and grabbed the remote. The moment passed, but it didn't leave. Not really. That night, Elliot walked Jamie home, like always. A quiet ritual. The streetlights flickered above them, stretching long shadows across the cracked sidewalk. Elliot glanced away for half a second, just checking a buzzing phone notification. "Everything okay?" Jamie asked. Elliot looked back. Jamie's face had changed again. His nose was thinner, cheekbones higher, the kind of difference makeup couldn't hide, the kind that shouldn't be possible in a blink. His eyes, the familiar warm brown, looked faded, as if someone had drained the color. "What?" Jamie asked again, voice flat, like he was trying to copy what concern sounded like. Elliot took a step back. "Your face." Jamie tilted his head. "What about it?" Another blink, and everything looked normal again. Elliot forced a laugh even though his throat was too dry for humor. "Maybe I'm just tired." Jamie smiled again, but this time it didn't stretch too far. Just the right amount. The perfect amount. And maybe that was the worst part. That night, Elliot couldn't sleep. He kept replaying those fractions of seconds, those tiny glitches, like someone was swapping out Jamie's face but didn't have time to finish the job before being noticed. He tried to convince himself it was stress. Too much caffeine. Bad lighting. But his hands kept shaking. He checked his phone. 3:12 a.m. A noise outside caught his attention. A soft knock against his bedroom window. Not loud enough to be threatening. Just loud enough to be intentional. He froze. Very slowly, he turned his head. Jamie was standing outside. Not knocking with his fist, but with his forehead. Over and over. Not hard enough to crack glass. Just enough to send a small vibration through the window. His eyes were wide. Too wide. Skin stretched too tightly across his bones. And that wrong smile, the first wrong smile, was back, but this time it was stuck. Like his face forgot how to move. Elliot scrambled backward off the bed, crashing to the floor. Jamie stopped tapping his head. He mouthed something through the glass. "Let me in." Elliot shook his head violently. "Jamie? What are you doing? You're freaking me out." Jamie mouthed the words again, slower. Elliot shouted, "I can't. It's 3 a.m. Go home." Jamie didn't blink, didn't move, didn't breathe, at least not that Elliot could see. He smiled wider, much wider. The skin at the corners of his mouth split slightly, tiny, dark tears forming. No pain showed in his expression. If anything, he looked delighted. Elliot grabbed the lamp and raised it defensively. "Get away from my house." Finally, a blink. And instantly, Jamie looked normal. Confused. He stumbled backward, hands shaking like he didn't know how he got there. "Elliot," he whispered through the glass. What am I doing out here?" Elliot's mouth fell open. His heart was pounding so hard he felt dizzy. I don't know," he whispered back. Jamie swallowed, tears shining in his eyes. Real tears. Human tears. "I'm sorry," Jamie said, voice trembling. "I don't know what's happening to me." Elliot's chest cracked open with sympathy. This was his best friend. His family. Whatever was happening wasn't Jamie's fault. "Meet me at the cafe tomorrow morning," Elliot said gently. "We'll figure this out." "Okay." Jamie nodded. "Okay." And then he disappeared into the night. The next morning came too fast. Elliot hadn't slept at all. Every shadow in his room looked like a face waiting to change. He arrived at the cafe early, scanning every face that walked in. Eventually, Jamie arrived. His face was fine. Familiar. He looked exhausted, dark circles under his eyes, shoulders slumped. They sat together in silence for a full minute before Elliot spoke. "Do you remember anything from last night?" Jamie slowly shook his head. "Just dreams. Like I was looking through someone else's eyes." "Someone else?" Elliot's stomach twisted. Jamie looked down at his hands, trembling. "Every time I close my eyes, I feel like someone is pushing forward from inside. Like they're about to take my place." Elliot's voice cracked. "Jamie, I think someone's trying to wear you." Jamie's breathing quickened. Then Elliot made a mistake. He looked away. Only for a moment, toward the waiter dropping off coffee. When he looked back, Jamie's face wasn't Jamie's anymore. Not even close. It looked like someone had sculpted a mask out of wet clay, same features, but rearranged. His eyes were uneven. His nose was crooked. His mouth split too wide again, teeth sharp and jagged like shattered glass. Jamie leaned forward slowly, bones cracking soundless beneath the skin. "Don't look away from me," he whispered, voice layered with two tones, Jamie's, and something beneath. Elliot's breath hitched in his chest. He couldn't scream. Couldn't move. Jamie's face twitched, melting back into normal like it never changed. He blinked, wiped sweat from his brow. "You saw it again, didn't you?" Jamie asked, terrified. Elliot nodded. Jamie squeezed his hands together, knuckles white. "Whatever is happening, it's getting stronger." Elliot stared into his best friend's familiar eyes. And prayed they would stay familiar. They walked home together, keeping their eyes locked like two soldiers afraid to blink on the battlefield. But Elliot's eyes burned, watering from the effort to never look away. Finally, his vision blurred, and instinctively he blinked. Just once. And Jamie gasped. His face began to shift, violently, like something underneath was furious at being hidden for so long. His skin rippled, features warping in fast, grotesque pulses. A voice not belonging to Jamie growled. "You should have kept watching." Elliot ran. But the sound of shifting bones chased close behind. Because whatever was wearing Jamie didn't like being ignored, and it wanted to be seen. Elliot's lungs burned as he sprinted across the street, horns blaring, tires screeching. Behind him, footsteps. Barely human. Jamie, or whatever was inside him, was gaining. "Jamie, stop!" Elliot shouted over his shoulder. The creature didn't stop. Its voice chased him. "Look at me, Elliot." Elliot kept running, because he knew the truth. If he looked, it would change again. He threw himself around the corner of an alley and pressed his back to the cold brick wall, choking down breath that tasted like panic. The footsteps slowed, then stopped. Silence swallowed the air. Too quiet for a street that usually buzzed with noise. "Elliot." Jamie's voice. Broken. Fragile. "Help me." Elliot wanted to, God, he wanted to, but fear held his skull tight. "Tell me what's happening to you," he whispered hoarsely. Jamie stepped into view. His face was normal. Terrified. Tears streaked his cheeks, dripping onto his shirt. I feel like someone else is here, Jamie sobbed. Inside me, peeling my memories away, taking my bones, piece by piece. Elliot reached toward him, step by cautious step. Then stay with me. Look at me and stay. Jamie nodded, trembling. Don't let go. Elliot placed his hands on Jamie's shoulders. Always, he said. The monster inside Jamie went still. For a moment, peace. Until Elliot blinked. Just one. Jamie's eyes rolled back, white as marble, and his mouth stretched open too wide, jaw popping like a breaking branch. His head jerked violently to the side as his voice layered into something deep and ancient. I don't want peace. Elliot flew backward, scrambling against the concrete. Elliot grabbed a loose trash bin lid and swung. Metal cracked bone. Jamie collapsed, twitching, face glitching, shapes snapping in and out like rapid-fire photographs. Elliot stared, trembling. Jamie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Then, a voice behind him. I'm right here. Elliot's heart nearly stopped. Turned. Jamie stood at the other end of the alley. Perfectly intact. No injuries. No glitching face. His expression, blank. The Jamie on the ground dissolved, skin sliding off like melting clay, until nothing remained but darkness, soaking into the pavement like spilled oil. Two Jamies. One real. Or worse, neither. Elliot, Jamie said softly. Don't look away this time. Elliot forced himself to blink rapidly, clearing tears and sweat from his eyes so he wouldn't lose sight again. What do you want from us? He yelled into the shadows. Why Jamie? Jamie hesitated, then whispered, It isn't trying to steal my face, Elliot. His voice trembled. It's practicing. Practicing. The word carved terror into Elliot's bones. Practicing for what? Jamie's breathing sped up as he stared at Elliot, terrified of the truth forming in his throat. It's trying to become you. Elliot staggered backward. No, that doesn't make sense. Every time you look away, Jamie said, it learns more about your face. More about how to wear you. Elliot shook his head in denial, but panic gnawed his ribs. Jamie stepped closer, slow, deliberate. Don't you see? It wants to replace one of us. His eyes locked on Elliot's face with a kind of desperation. And it chose you. The alley lights flickered. Jamie's shadow detached from his feet. It stretched up the wall behind him, tall, distorted, then lunged across the concrete like spilled ink rushing toward Elliot. Elliot reacted without thinking. His hand clamped around a broken pipe lying near the dumpster. He spun and bolted toward the street. I'm not letting it take me, he shouted. Jamie chased after him, but Elliot didn't know if it was the real Jamie or the monster wearing concern like a mask. Cars blurred by as Elliot sprinted across the road again, horns screaming. Jamie stopped beneath a streetlight, gasping, terrified. It's me. Jamie pleaded. Elliot, you can't run. If you look away from me again, it will be the last time you ever see me. Elliot's brain was splitting in two, fear and loyalty tearing him apart. Then the streetlight above Jamie whined, buzzing louder, before blowing out with a deafening pop. Darkness swallowed him. Jamie, Elliot cried. No answer. Not even footsteps now. Like something had plucked Jamie out of reality and replaced him with silence. Elliot's hands shook violently. He backed away, frantically scanning every corner, every shadow. He looked into a storefront window to check behind him, but the reflection staring back was not his. The eyes were his. The body was his. But the smile wasn't. The reflection's mouth curled higher, wider, wrong, like the first wrong smile Jamie made. Elliot stumbled to the ground, phone clattering from his pocket. His reflection crept closer in the glass, but when he whipped his head around, nothing there. Only the window. Only the reflection. Only the monster learning how to look just like him. He grabbed his phone and called Jamie. It rang once. Then a voice answered, but not Jamie's. A voice wearing Jamie's tone like a Halloween mask. Elliot, I'm with you. Elliot froze. Where? The voice chuckled, cold and satisfied. You'll know when you feel me. The call ended. Footsteps echoed behind him. Slow. Certain. Human, but not right. Elliot spun around, and there Jamie stood. Face normal. Breathing shaky. Tears fresh. Elliot, he whispered, please. Believe me. It's copying you. Piece by piece. If you look away again, it won't need me anymore. Elliot swallowed a sob that burned his throat. Then we stay together, he said. No blinking. But his eyes, they ached. Vision blurring. Muscles spasming. The instinct to blink, overwhelming. Jamie grabbed his shoulders, firm grip, grounding him. Look at me. Only me. Elliot nodded, tears streaming, eyes screaming in pain. Jamie stepped closer, voices from the void flickering beneath his skin. If you look away, it takes your place. Elliot's voice cracked. How do we stop it? Jamie leaned in, forehead touching Elliot's, a friend desperate to hold on. You have to watch the thing that wants to become you. His breath hit Elliot's ear, cold. Until it hates the face it copies. Elliot froze. Jamie's voice shifted, lower, hungrier. Jamie smiled, too wide, and whispered, don't blink. Elliot shoved him away as terror exploded in his chest. He stumbled backward and collapsed against the curb, eyes wide and burning, refusing to close even for a fraction of a second. Jamie's face snapped and twisted, furious, revealed for what it was. Not Jamie. The monster wearing him. Jamie's true voice screamed from somewhere deep. Elliot, run. But Elliot didn't know where to run. Didn't know who was real. Didn't know how long he could keep his eyes open. And the creature kept coming closer. Because it wanted to be seen. Because that's how it took shape. Because it wanted to replace him the moment he blinked. If you're still watching, don't look away. Something is watching you back now. And the moment you blink, it learns a little more about your face. If you want to know what happens next, hit subscribe right now, before it replaces you too. Comment, don't blink, so I know you're still here, still human.